This is Elliot Serrano and Jose Melendez coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for joining us here on CCW TV, the Comic Culture Warrior video channel. We're now at the part that we call Last Rants, and Last Rants is when Jose and I talk about kind of things that have been annoying us or whatnot. But before we get into that, I really want to...
We have a bunch of different topics for Last Rants.
We have a lot of different topics today, but the one thing I did before we get into the rant, I wanted to get into kind of a rave, because it did come out a few weeks ago, but I did finally get a chance to see it. The Scott Pilgrim movie, which we have been talking about on the blog. So if you've been checking out the blog, you already know how Mr. Melendez here feels about it. But I just saw it today, the day that we are recording these segments, and gotta say, I really agree with you. Almost every issue that Jose took with the Scott Pilgrim film, I had that same issue, which was namely, there was so much of the character development taken out after the first 20 minutes, half hour or so, and it started focusing a lot on the fights and taking away all those great character moments that the rest of the volumes had. So, don't get me wrong. Is it a good movie? Yes. Is it entertaining? Yes. Although, is it for everyone? No. Actually, I went with someone. And
you found someone to go with you?
I found someone to go with me, and as she was...
How much did you have to pay that bum?
Well, you know, let's just say dinner, a movie, and I can't call her anymore after that. But before she ran off with somebody else, she did say she had the same reaction I did. She really enjoyed the first half hour.
Yep.
And then when it started getting into the fights, it lost her.
Let me. This part I did not mention in the blog. This was what I thought while I was watching the movie. The first 20 minutes were great.
Awesome.
I had all these characters, man, really funny. You know, a lot of stuff going on. And then when they're at the concert, and then the guy busts through the wall, I swear to God, I was like, holy shit. I completely forgot about the fucking fights.
Yeah.
Because I was so into what was going on. And I'm like, so they're going to have all of this character development and all these fights? This movie's going to be the best thing ever. Yeah.
And then that didn't happen.
That didn't happen because the character development just died. After that first fight. But seriously, I was so engrossed in what was going on that I completely forgot that he had to fight 7 dudes.
Because I remember that was the exact feeling I had when I read Scott Pilgrim #1. When you read Scott Pilgrim #1, if you go back in our videos, we actually review Scott Pilgrim #1, I said that exact thing. That it felt like this nice little character piece. That O'Malley was doing this character piece, and you're getting to meet all these characters. Out of nowhere, though, it turns into a manga fight, series. But it worked. In the comics, it really worked. Because O'Malley had more room to kind of like spread stuff out and still keep the character moments and things like that.
Now, realistically, the movie probably should have been 2 movies, but I completely understand that is just an impossible fucking sell.
But
you cannot sell that as 2 movies.
No, you can't sell it as 2 movies, but you know what you can sell it as? An HBO series. You know, I've been saying this time and again. Why do you want to take all these long series and make it into a movie? Mm-hmm. You know, like The Walking Dead. AMC is making it into a miniseries. Yeah. You know, for cable. Why couldn't they have done the same thing with Scott
Pilgrim? That was the thing that, people are still talking about the Preacher movie. That there was talk before the movie that was going to be an HBO show.
An HBO series.
And that needs to be
something
like that. I completely agree with that.
So why not do that? You know. Was it worth my price of admission? Yes. Did I enjoy it? Of course. Was it as good as the comic book? Of course, many folks always say this. The adaptation is never as good as the source material. I have to say, really, in this case, it wasn't. It wasn't as good.
No, I agree.
Still fun. If you're a Scott Pilgrim fan...
There's just something that was lost in the
translation.
Because of the time constraints.
Although the whole thing about Kim Pine, I really love... You're right. I loved Kim Pine. Even though she had the fewest scenes and the least amount of character development... Mm-hmm. You know, at least they did talk about the fact that Scott and her had dated, and she kind of hates him because
very
of
briefly.
That. Yeah.
So, but if you actually saw, they ran. I think it was supposed to be part of the movie, but they actually how different parts of the movie had animation.
Yes.
To tell, the Kim Pine segment
Right.
was they showed it on Adult Swim. Yeah.
And that'll probably be added in the DVD.
And hopefully an hour and a half of characterization will be put back into the movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I bet you there's a lot of stuff that they cut out of the film that they'll probably put in the Scott Pilgrim DVD, which will be kind of fun. So it's a definitely support this film because it's something. It's an independent film, really. And the thing that got me seeing all these independent film folks doing an action movie. I mean, seeing Jason Schwartzman as Gideon at the end in the big fight scene just was killing me. I'm like, oh, geez, this is the guy from Bored to Death, and he's fighting, with a sword. Really cool. Oh.
I have to say that the Michael Cera actually pulled off a lot of that fight stuff too.
He did. Well, there was some. You can see some was a stunt double, and I'm sure they did some CGI. Right. Putting his face over the stunt double. But yeah, you're right.
Well, no, I like that. I think everybody was perfectly cast. I think everybody looked the part, and I think the movie visually was spectacular.
And Kieran Culkin was hilarious.
Yeah.
He stole that every time he appeared on the screen. He stole the scene. It was awesome.
No, but in my book, Edgar Wright really hasn't done anything bad to this point.
No,
so
no, I don't know. Okay, so let's switch gears. Let's get into rant mode, and I'm gonna slowly, before we go into full rant, let's do a little mini rant because this is something that Mr. Melendez pointed out to me this week. The decline of DC Comics continues, and Dan DiDio is Nero fiddling as DC Comics burns. Can I say it now? Since I've burned the Marvel Comics bridge. I burned that sucker.
You destroyed that somewhere.
I threw a hand grenade on it, and I salted the earth that it was once on. Why not burn the DC Comics bridge while I'm at it? I mean, Jan's not working at DC anymore.
She was the best person there.
She was the best person there, and now she left. I have no emotional connection to DC anymore, and the other folks I know at DC don't even talk to me anymore. Eddie, I'm looking at you, man.
Did you blame them, though?
I guess I can't. But yeah, this is kind of a minor thing.
It's a minor thing. No, it's just something that I noticed. So this is the first week that this has actually happened. But if you notice, on DC's comics now, you know how DC's been raising a lot of prices, blah, 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 blah. Well, on other $2.99 comics now, they actually have $2.99 in the upper right-hand corner with the issue number in a pretty big font.
Pretty big, yeah.
You can't miss that. I mean, that's pretty big for a price on the actual... And it's actually... $2.99 U.S. and Canada.
Oh,
that's odd.
They should be making the only thing that would have made it more obvious is if they've done the big
still
$2.99, right? They used
that's
kind of.
Inside Man actually made that reference, and it's kind of what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Or they could just they own that magazine. They're just $2.99 cheap. But so anyway, they put it out in a pretty big font now, and it just started this week. Where all their $2.99 books. Now, what about the books that aren't $2.99? And that are $3.99 and $4.99 that came out this week, they hide them in the barcode. Nowhere on the cover is the price to be found unless you look in the barcode. And some of them are actually in the barcode pretty good. Some of them are actually smaller than this one here. And that's, I don't know.
I mean, they're trying to. I don't know if they're trying to.
I don't know what they're trying
to highlight the $2.99 books or hide the higher priced books. I mean, I don't.
But if they're highlighting the $2.99 books and you see on the rack, there's not that many $2.99 DC books left. So the thing to me is why are you pointing that out when people are going to see more $3.99 books than your $2.99 books?
Well,
to me, it'll just be there's not a lot of $2.99 DC books anymore.
Well, maybe
that's exactly what I would think, but I'm a fucking pessimist, so what do you know?
I don't know. I can see the benefits, but no, I don't see why they don't just be forthright about the prices of all your books. You have some that are $2.99. Great.
Why don't you just use the same font?
Same font for all of them, so that everyone can see how much the price of the book is.
Yeah.
Don't be surreptitious about it.
Yeah, that was our fucking mini rant.
Or we could be saying,
"Oh, come on now, that ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit."
That is.
Man, this button has been dead on every time so far. Wow. You saw the video last week about, we were at Wizard World Chicago, and by the time this video airs, a lot of different opinions will have been made known.
There have already been a lot of opinions.
There's a lot of opinions out there.
It's been a week already.
And you have some who are pro Wizard World and many who were against Wizard World. In the final analysis, as someone who was there and someone who has seen it, if you want to talk about attendance, it was a successful event.
Yes.
A lot
Especially
of folks
Saturday.
went. Yeah, Saturday. A lot of folks went, and Garib Sheamus found a formula where he got a lot of non-comic fans to show up. I'm going to tell you right now, they shouldn't call it Comic-Con. Just call it Wizard World. We won't think any less of you.
But the reason that they don't call it Wizard World is because Wizard is such a tainted name in the industry that they want to get away from it. That's why they renamed the Chicago Comic.
Garib Sheamus will tell you that they want to do branding, and branding. Wizard World Chicago Comic Con is a branding issue. That's what he says.
Well, he's also a liar.
Warning, bullshit alert.
I like this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so all those things aside, what did the folks at Wizard World offer you if you were one of those folks who bought a VIP package?
Okay, so VIP package, $150.
Right.
Okay, $150 got you into all 3 days, and then I think the preview night. And that was it.
Right. If you didn't buy
you didn't get a free Adam West signature, or you didn't
No.
get into any parties
No.
or any of that, fucking bullshit. What you got for the extra $100 was a bag of goodies. Okay, it was pretty much, you got variant covers, stuff like that. Well, a customer here who actually bought the VIP, and this is his first year going to Wizard World,
Right.
bought the VIP package. He came in last week, and he told me what was in the package. And I said, please bring that in, because I need to see this. And so our customer, Bob, was very nice, and he brought them in. And so this is what you get for an extra $100. Okay? All this stuff here, none of this stuff was bagged and boarded either.
Oh, he had the bag and boarding
He bagged
himself?
and boarded everything himself. It was just all thrown in a bag.
Oh, low.
So, all of this old fucking shit, just variants from other Wizard World conventions.
Okay, so we have a Wolverine Origins #1 from Wizard World Philadelphia, an Ultimate Extinction variant
That thing's like
from
5 years old.
Yeah, Wizard World Los Angeles.
Wizard World half issue.
Wizard World of half issue of The Flash by Jeff. Jeez.
Yeah, how old is that?
I don't know.
Exo Manowar.
Man of War from Valiant. Woohoo! Wanted.
I'm not gonna go through every
Wizard
single-
Ace Edition.
But I mean, like Ultimate X-Men 50. These are all from like other like.
Ooh,
look at
yeah.
how old that fucking thing
A
is.
Fantastic Four sketch cover from Wizard World Philadelphia by J. Michael Straczynski and Mike McCone.
And you even got a CCG graded comic, but too bad it's one of the Wizard World fucking comics that are worthless. So a CCG, even though it's a 9.8 of a worthless comic, is still fucking worthless. So bottom line, all this stuff is shit that Garib Sheamus hasn't been able to sell in his stores, hasn't been able to sell on the Wizard website, could not sell at the conventions. This is all just garbage that he charged people $100 for.
And none of it was bagged and boarded either.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a grab bag thing. You didn't know what you could, but you were kind of hoping that you got something for $100.
Yeah.
Or even like a new Marvel. But see, Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image, nobody was there. The biggest publisher there was Avatar, and then Top Shelf. That was it.
Yeah.
Publishers don't go anywhere. So you're not going to get a DC or Marvel like Brightest Day or or New Avengers. Wizard Ultimate, something that would be hot that you could probably sell.
Right.
That would be no. You're not gonna get any of that bullshit. This is all fucking garbage that they actually took people's $100 for. Now I understand it's one of those buyer beware mentalities, but I saw a lot of people on Friday walking around with those VIP passes, and I kept on thinking about what the fuck is that, because I don't go on the Wizard World site. I didn't know what the hell it was, and all I can think of after seeing this, a lot of people got fucking screwed, and they are probably really pissed.
There were a lot of comic fans that I talked to there that they said that's probably the last time they're going to go. I mean,
it was a joke.
But again, we're talking about the comic fans who had been going to these events previously.
Right.
Now, there were a lot of folks who were there that this was the first event that they'd ever gone to.
And it probably will be the last one.
And no, because there were some that they said they enjoyed it, but they weren't comic book fans, was the thing. They liked seeing Adam West and Burt Ward, although you couldn't just walk up to Adam West and Burt Ward and get their autograph or whatever. You had to pay money for that.
Yeah,
you couldn't
a lot
take
of money.
photos. A lot of these, the bigger celebrities that were there, you got charged to take a photograph with them. There were signs saying
$60, $40.
Yeah, there were signs saying photo ops so much, so you just couldn't walk up to them and say hello and to have your photo taken with them. So that was a turn off to some folks. If you went there for comic books, there was a great big vendor area.
And it was it was comparable to a swap meet.
Well, and
because I didn't buy one goddamn thing when I was there, and I walked around that thing for 6 hours with you, and then an hour actually before I left, I walked around because I wanted to buy something. I couldn't find anything to buy.
One of the vendors who I spoke with called it a high-end flea market.
That's exactly what it was.
High-end flea market. And you know what? That's what it felt like. It felt like a flea market. I went through, and it wasn't so much looking for comics. I was looking for toys. And you found a lot of deals on toys and models and stuff like that. But again, it felt like a flea market.
Nope.
High-end flea market. If you went over to the vendor side. Artist Alley, the artists did well there, the ones that were there. They were selling sketches. They were selling a lot of original artwork, not so much comics. There was a big run on. There's some artists that are talking about they had artwork that they'd had for years that they couldn't unload or they couldn't get to sell, and then now all of a sudden people are buying up original artwork like mad. So you can't begrudge the artists for that. But was this really a comic book convention? Was this something that if you went there, because you couldn't make it to San Diego, you couldn't make it to the Emerald City Con, you couldn't make it to some of the other conventions that the big publishers do attend, okay? You couldn't make it to Toronto, which is going on this weekend, and that Marvel and DC are at, Would Wizard World be a suitable substitute for you because you really wanted to get into comic books and get into the latest in comics? I'm afraid it wasn't. Pop culture convention, perhaps. I don't know if it will be the most current pop culture, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the only folks from a television show that was recent was Battlestar Galactica, and that show's been off the air for a year now. No one from Doctor Who was there. It seems like C2E2 sucked in a lot of the appeal of a Midwest show for folks from New York and
C2E2
California.
Put Wizard World to fucking shame. I mean, C2E2, heads and tails way better than Wizard
As far
World.
as the programming that it offered, yes.
No, because that was a comic convention.
Yeah. And Marvel and DC were there. And I'm not even saying that Marvel and DC
and the
have
nice
to
white
be
aisles
there.
and the nice carpeting,
Yeah.
just the overall ambiance
Very
of the
nice,
place.
yeah.
Whereas Wizard World is like being held in a fucking basement. They didn't even bother to put carpet on the floor this year.
No, because they didn't have it. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was too expensive. The other thing, too, was you didn't need... Okay, I'll tell you, some of you might say, well, you guys are ragging on Marvel and DC all the time. Do they have to be there to make a convention? You know what? No. The fact that Marvel and DC weren't there gave a chance for a lot of independent publishers to step up. But why weren't Dark Horse there? Why wasn't IDW there? Why wasn't Image there? Oni Press. You want to know why? And Gareb Shamus will tell you that they can be there if they want to be there.
But they have to pay to be there.
But they have to pay to be there.
Big bucks to be there.
Yeah.
To pay for the fucking outrageous prices per square footing in that place. That Wizard is getting from them.
This could have been a great indie press event. Radical. Would have been nice to see them there, too. If they were there, I didn't see them. They didn't have a big enough presence. They should have been given a presence, bam, right there next to all the other publishers instead of moving, all the... I mean, don't get me wrong. I talked to a lot of the pro wrestlers who were there. They were great folks, but even they were saying, wow, the attendance wasn't what they were hoping for. But if you're going to call it Wizard World Comic-Con...
Have some fucking comics.
Comics. Have comic publishers there.
This is nothing but just a watered-down bastardization of San Diego. That's all this was. Just multimedia bullshit. And I'm walking around there when we first got there, it was fucking depressing.
Yeah.
It was fucking depressing seeing all these has-beens sitting around hoping for people to come and pay to get their autographs or take their pictures with them. I mean, that's kind of what it was.
Yeah, and some of them are a little, you can tell they have this look on their faces like, gee, why am I here? Because they come in expecting San Diego. You go to San Diego, and it's a madhouse, but then the folks who are there, there's a lot of stuff going on around them. There's a lot of stuff going on around them. You had a whole bunch of friggin' Star Trek folks there. You had friggin' William Shatner was there. You had all these big names, but they didn't get all the action that you'd think that they would have.
Well, Rod Blagojevich still got a whole lot of
Blagojevich was there.
That is right there to me. That was the nail in the coffin for that Comic-Con.
That is when I'm sorry, Gareb Shamus shows his true face right then and there.
He jumped the shark.
When that's a true jumping the shark moment. When it's no longer about comics or entertainment, it's
not even about pop culture.
Yeah, it's about spectacle. And again, he tried to spin it. Tried to spin Rob Blagojevich as a part of pop culture now.
He's not.
That because he's been on reality TV and he's on the news all the time. No,
his wife was on reality TV.
Yeah, no, but remember he was on The Apprentice. Remember Celebrity Apprentice.
Again, has-beens.
What I'm saying here at this point is, if you're gonna hold this event, don't try to say it's one thing when we all know it's something else. As Judge Harm said in that episode of The Simpsons, don't crap on my donut and call it sprinkles. Okay? What'd she say about donuts?
That was bullshit.
I like this thing.
Yeah, I think you do way too much, too.
Wizard World Comic-Con, if this was the first event that you'd ever gone to, the first of its kind that you'd ever gone to, and you enjoyed it, by all means, we're here at CCW TV, we're happy for you.
I've been going to comic conventions for over 20 years. No.
But it wasn't,
over 20 years
it wasn't
now.
a comic convention.
No.
It was not a comic convention.
It was the most pathetic piece of shit convention I've ever been to.
Very few panels, very few comic book panels. No one, even last year, Marvel did send someone to hold some Marvel panels. They didn't even bother this year. Mm-hmm. No one from DC was there to hold a panel. Todd Allen, a creator that I know, he always holds the trivia panels every year. This year, they didn't even bother. Didn't even bother. You know, they had an independent film panel with a lot of local filmmakers were there. Okay, don't call it a Comic-Con then. All right, call it what it is, which is Wizard World. People who you used to see on TV with some toys and comics that you can buy. Does that fit? Can we put that on a T-shirt?
It's too long.
Too long? Can you put it on a bumper sticker?
Well, the only good thing that I did get out of Wizard World was my buddy Brett Wood, creator and artist of Silver Bullet from Lonely Robot Comics, hooked me up with the first 5 issues, and I'm giving him a shout out. It's a fun book.
You know, that's really, again, if you're gonna have independent creators there, don't make them sit over on the edge of Artist Alley. Okay? Yeah. You know, if you're going to have... You want comic book folks there? Here's what you do. You say to your local independent creators, hey, you want to be there? Guess what? We got a nice big table for you over here, right by the entrance, where people can see you when you walk in. Mm-hmm. And then if people want to get to the celebrities and stuff, let's move them over in the center area, so that traffic of the people who are coming through, they got to pass through all the comic folks first. Okay? I mean, Avatar was near the front. I mean, Avatar was near the front. Top Shelf was near the front. But then they were lost in everything else.
They were near the front, but they were still in the back of the front. Right. It's like they're just ashamed to have comics in their convention.
Why were Avatar and Top Shelf, since they were the 2 biggest names there, why didn't they get the traditional DC and Marvel spots?
Because Nintendo was in Xbox were in the front.
We're in the front. So then you got all that traffic building up in the front and staying there. No, where's the incentive for folks to go see everything else?
I totally agree.
I don't know.
I mean, Artist Alley was probably the furthest possible place in the convention center to get to from the opening, from the entrance.
Which meant that this past Wizard World, it put the shame in Sheamus.
Yeah. Well, he does it all by himself. But
the shame in Sheamus.
So yeah, let this be a story that you can look back to whenever Wizard World comes to your town, and you want to know what to expect. Don't expect a lot. You can expect a bunch of jack shit.
Well, if you want to go to this kind of show
if-
because it's the only thing you can get, you know what? Pay the buy a single day ticket. Go on Saturday or
all you'll
Sunday.
need.
Yeah, that's all you'll need. Buy the 1-day ticket, which is going to cost
Don't
you
buy
like
the
20,
VIP
25 bucks.
ticket
Do not. No,
because this is the kind of
no.
shit that you're going to get. For it.
Don't fall for that shit. Don't fall for that shit. If there's a party that you really want to go to, all the cocktail parties, the Burt Ward, Adam West party, the Battlestar Galactica party, you could have bought individual tickets to those things. But do not buy the 3-day pass. You do not need it. Do not buy the VIP pack. You're going to get crap. Just buy the 1-day ticket. Go on Friday if you want, because you know what? If you don't like crowds, Friday's a good day where you're going to see everything that's going to be available over the weekend. You're going to see all the same celebrities. They're going to be there. You're going to be able to spend some time talking to celebrities. That's when I got most of my interviews, because there was so little going on Friday. I was able to just walk up to a celebrity and say, hey, you want to do an interview? And they did it. You can go around, do all your shopping, not have to worry about the crowds and all that. But do not fall for the whole package. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Do not get hoodwinked into one of those things. So.
And Gareth Sheamus is pretty much the modern day snake oil salesman.
No, he's a modern day Barnum and Bailey.
Yeah, that too.
Which
actually.
I'm sorry, modern day P.T. Barnum. And P.T. Barnum has said, there's one born every minute. And what is that in reference to? Suckers. So don't be a sucker. Don't fall for all the spin and all that. You are a consumer. You deserve to get your money's worth. And you can get your money's worth at one of these shows. But don't fall for all the extra flash, which isn't even flashy anymore.
No.
It's like, it's kind of like the flash of Wizard World.
It's all the flash of a bird taking a shit on you. Just annoying.
Wizard World right now is that past her prime Las Vegas dancer.
Yeah, that is true. That is so true.
Who's still trying to do those kicks and got that glitter on her from,
And after you wake up drunk the next morning, next door, you're really hoping that you don't have syphilis. She probably gave you something pretty bad.
But, the times were good. Back in her day, she was pretty good.
Yeah.
She was really good back in her day. But her day has long passed, so sorry. And not to say that you can't have fun, but just
By the way, that's a very sexist comment that you used, and I want to point that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out because someone was going to.
They were, yes. Yeah. We do like the objectification of women around these parts. All right. Anything else?
No. That is plenty.
I think that was plenty. The shame in Sheamus. Oh, Sheamus. You used to do so much better before. That was bad.
Do you want to keep running that fucking joke into the ground, and can we just fucking end this thing?
Yes, we can.
Bullshit detected. Take precaution.
For Jose Melendez, I'm Elliot Serrano, and this is Dreamland Comics. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.